Hey guys, Lady Steam here. In this video, we're going to learn how to put together a very simple counting mechanism to count from 0 to 99. There are two of them included in this package. So I'm going to begin by opening the package, and we'll talk a little bit about what this mechanism is and what you've got in your project. Now, when you get a Steamy Tech project or a box of making project, they always come with everything you need, but they come straight off the laser. So we haven't sanded them, we haven't decorated them, we haven't done anything to them at all. So what you're going to do is you're going to open up your bag, like so. And you'll find a little bag of hardware. We won't need that till the second part of the video when we do the assembly. And then you'll find 5 pieces of wood. The first one is a rectangle, looks like this, has 2 little vertical lines on it. This is the back that'll go behind it. And then we've got our 3 gears that are going to go across this. So they'll go across and be screwed and mounted in just like this. Pretty straightforward to assemble. But you are going to want to sand and decorate them, I'm sure. Make sure you sand on this surface and make sure you sand on the back of these 3 pieces. That's the most important part when you're getting ready to do this assembly. Be ready to put this together. So I'm going to go ahead and open up my screw bag. I should have 3 3/8" screws and 3 nuts in here. And that's all it takes to put this together. And I'm going to start with that I want the top right to be here. We're going to put the 0 counter here. And so we're going to start by putting this here, putting our screw through it, and then if you've done a Steamy Tech project before, you know that we use screws as our gear shafts. So I'm just going to put this here. And I'm going to use a little bit of my super glue, and I'm just going to put a little dot on the back of the screw head. Now, the trick here is to use as little as possible and to make sure it's really loose after you put the glue on. If you watch the basic techniques videos, you learned more about that in those as well. So I can just spin this, and if you're testing spinning, make sure it doesn't tighten up while you're doing that. And you're going to give that a second to dry. And now you'll notice that I can put this to 0, and my gear teeth are just pointing a little bit above that. And so now I'm ready to put in my middle gear, and I'm going to do the same thing here. So I'm going to put the screw in, put a dot of glue on it, leave myself a nice loose feeling, so I've got a little bit, maybe at least a paper's worth of thickness between it. And what you'll see is something that's really cool when I spin this. When I spin it, it goes tick, tick, and it moves this gear 1 tick each time I go around. So now I'm going to take that back to 0, and this is the only tricky part with putting this together, is that I want this 0 to be vertical too. So before I glue this down, I'm going to put this screw in, make sure that's up on my 0 point, and let's see if we can count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 0. And you'll notice that my 1 is in place. And if I do it again, something's tightening up on me. Why is it tightening up on me? All right, one more try. Back to 0. Slide this in at 0. You got to make sure you let your glue dry enough that it doesn't get tight on you before you start spinning it. And you'll notice I can spin this one all day long if the other guy's out of the way, and it will be just fine. So I'm going to put that back up to there. I'm at 0. I can go all the way around, and it'll tick over and go to 1. All the way around, and it'll tick over and go to 2, etc. Now, the way I designed it, you're going to have to go all the way through 99 to get to the end. If you don't want to have to do that, you could put a nylon nut or an acorn nut of some kind on the back. But it's only 10 spins of the big wheel, and we know that we all like to play with the big wheel anyway. So a dot of glue on my gear. And we'll make sure that's nice and loose as well. And then I'm going to let that dry a little bit. And the last thing is to put the back on. So I'm going to put a layer of glue here. We're going to use this back as a way to protect from scratching tables or other things you would not want to have happen. So I'm just going to put my back on like that. Put it together, and now you got a scorekeeper. And that's all there is to it. You've got 2 in the box. That should keep you busy.